What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
I fell down in mud. I don't think I've ever been embarrassed.
When I spilled soda on me at lunch.
One time I was bending down to pick up my pencil in school, and then when I was bending down, my stomach was hurting. So when I bent down, it pushed, and then I farted.
Once at school, I tied my shoes together, and I couldn't get them apart.
I opened a card that wasn't for me, and I had to seal it back up with an envelope.
I fell off a scooter and broke my arm.
Someone bumped into me and I got pushed in the trash.
I was in school and I was running and I fell, and then I had to keep acting like it didn't happen, so I just kept running.
One time I left a public restroom with toilet paper coming out of my pants.
When I was in 5th grade, I did a talent show in front of my whole school, and I was supposed to be singing and dancing, but I got nervous and froze.
I tripped on my foot and broke my finger by tripping on my foot.
In my kindergarten recital, when I got the microphone, instead of saying my line, I just had to say, "Mommy, I gotta go pee." A couple of weeks ago, I was walking down a hill and I tripped and I fell down in front of my entire school.
Mistaking a random person for one of my friends.
Falling at the gym in front of a group of people.
When I was 10, the coach of our swim clinic was talking to us and I just fell into the pool.
When I was on vacation with my ex-boyfriend's family and my wig was coming off and no one told me.
Tripping on the train platform. One time I was running to try to catch one of those revolving doors. Got my feet stuck in it and just fell all the way down backwards. When I was in 1st grade, I peed in a chair, and then I took the chair like this and started walking around with it so that you couldn't see that I peed in it.
Queefing in a yoga class.
When I was 18, my best friend and I made a plan to go to Spencer's Gifts at the mall and buy vibrators. And while I was reaching for one, a giant black vibrator fell on my face.
I walked the wrong way during my high school graduation.
So one time in middle school, I was really bored in my science class, and the outlets were on the table, and for some reason, I took a paper clip and I stuck it in there, and sparks went flying, and the lights went out, and everyone was screaming and freaking out. That was pretty embarrassing.
So one time I had to pee in a cup at a doctor's office, and when I went to give it to the nurse, I spilled it everywhere.
I was in a meeting and my foot fell asleep and I tripped in front of everyone and kind of caught myself on a table.
Oh, I fell at the gym.
I was in a production of Oklahoma and I accidentally went on stage in my flip-flops.
My mom arranged my prom day because she didn't think I could get one.
Falling up the stairs coming out of the subway.
When I was a senior in high school, my biology teacher asked the class, "Does anyone know what the ring around an earthworm is called?" And I raised my hand immediately with total confidence, and he called on me, and I said, "Scrotum." So it's actually called a clitellum, and I will never forget that.
I had a teacher once confiscate a love poem I had written for a boy in my class and read it out to the whole class and then ask who had written it. Nobody volunteered. So he collected all of the copybooks of the girls in the class and then did what can only be described as the most awful forensic analysis of the handwriting, and then was like, "Did you write this love poem, Samantha?" I don't think I've ever been so embarrassed in my life. Yeah, it's terrible.
When I was in elementary school, I walked out of the restroom with my dress tucked in my stockings. And I don't know how long I was walking around like that until one of my male classmates told me so.
I used to practice capoeira, and I was wearing a wig, and I turned a flip, and the wig came off in class.
My threshold is pretty high. I don't get embarrassed very easily.
I recently walked into a glass partition and left a full face impression from my forehead to my chin of my foundation and my brows and my lipstick on the glass.
My boyfriend and I were watching a basketball game and I felt a little frisky, so I went to go bite him on his schlong, but his clothes were on, so my tooth cracked off on his zipper and flew across the room.
I was wearing leggings when I went to the supermarket, and I felt them going down, and I was commando.
I was working on a movie set, and one of the actors I thought came from a crossover movie. Turned out I was just trespassing in his house.
Congratulating someone on their pregnancy when they weren't pregnant.
I walked down the street with toilet paper on my heels for a very long time. And it was coming from my back.
Coming from a public bathroom, I came out with tissue paper on my foot.
I fell in front of the entire class.
There were 2 cars, navy blue. One contained my boyfriend, one a random stranger. I came out and got into the wrong car.
Accidentally leave my purse somewhere and it getting stolen.
I forgot to lock the bathroom on the plane.
I was on a road trip with a friend. It was 2 a.m. and I had to go to the bathroom very badly, immediately. So I pulled over, and as I was pooping on somebody's lawn, the paper boy threw the paper up. So he thumped and I thumped.
I went to the gas station. When I went to the bathroom, I accidentally stole toilet paper, and unbeknownst to me, it was under my arm. And when I checked out, the cashier was looking at me like I was totally a moron.
On my first date with a boy that I was head over heels with, I fell down the steps.
When I was a medical student, I was scrubbed in for a procedure, and I kind of passed out, had to be escorted out of the room. That was bad.
There was a day when I was 13 years old in middle school, and I was wearing white pants. And I'll leave it at that.
I forgot the name of someone that I dated for 2 years.
My foot fell asleep in a waiting room and I fell.
I did not know that the entire back of my pants was split open, revealing my pink underwear.
So when I was in the 3rd grade, we had to wear shorts underneath our skirts to school for gym class. And on this particular day, when we got ready to go to gym, took my skirt off and forgot to put my shorts on. So there I was standing in my underwear.
Costume I was wearing came down and one of my breasts was showing while I was on stage.
Doing karaoke at a work function and not realizing the meaning of the lyrics I was singing until after I had finished singing them.
Nothing, because I don't take no shit. Never.
Getting sick in the bathroom in Marshall's.
When I was about 12, I had to walk across the stage in order to demonstrate how to sit properly, and I fell.
Being called 4 Eyes when I was a kid, that really embarrassed me.
At an important point in the play, I had to run up to the lead and throw my arms around her and promise to never leave her again. And I got carried away and knocked her over, and then we were both rolling around on the stage and we couldn't get up because we were laughing too hard.
My slip fell down to the floor.
Saying something nasty about a friend when I thought she had already hung up on the phone.
A slip was showing once beneath the skirt.
When I was in high school, I took swimming as my physical education class, and I don't know how to swim.
I don't get embarrassed. My children get embarrassed on my behalf, but I don't.
I used to have a huge crush on Anthony Hopkins. I followed him one night after a performance to a local bar and went to the restroom. When I came out, he had arrived with his family and friends, and I walked out of the restroom trailing half a roll of toilet paper.
I was in junior high. I got on stage to be in a talent show, to play the piano, and I forgot what the music was.
Walking through a swamp, saying, "I stink." When I was a child, I had a difficult time reading out loud. It stays with me forever.